why on earth, if the success of the app, the success of the entire project depends upon take-up, i.e. the more people that download it, the more effective it becomes, the more likely it is to succeed, why would the government introduce a version that we have already established, and I heard the last couple of calls to Nick's show as well, which I don't know how representative they were of the whole programme, but I mean clearly this position was represented. Why would they bring in technology that invites mistrust? That's all. Whether the mistrust turns out to be justified or not is actually less pertinent. So this to me is a killer question. I mean, it's right up there with why didn't care home patients get put into the Nightingale hospitals? And it's not even an if, we know that the more people who download this app, the more likely it is to succeed. I don't know for certain because I don't have the expertise, but I have been told that any take-up in excess of 50% would deliver a positive result, and if not half of the population takes it up, if less than half take it up, then it won't work. Again, that's something that we'd need to examine more closely. But the general truth, the broad observation, the more people who download it, the better it is, the more likely it is to work, I am afraid, again, leads to a question of cock-up competence or conspiracy. Why on earth would this government not bring in the app most likely to reassure the public? Or let me rephrase that slightly. Why on earth would the government bring in technology, the available technology, least likely to engender public trust? Why? It's just weird, right? So here is a selection of options. For the benefit of the tape, let's say there are two. You've got the Apple Google version, which is decentralized, which means all of the information never actually goes anywhere except your phone, and the phone uses that information to contact other phones to tell people if they have been in close proximity with somebody who has subsequently found to have tested positive. Even I, a bear of very little brain when it comes to matters technological, even I have got my head around this, although, as ever, if I've made any mistakes, ring me and rob me of my temporary self-satisfaction. So that's what happens. This government, the British government, I think at the moment uniquely, but again, if another government has done this, that could be reassuring. So give me a ring and tell me. This government has elected technology which sees all of our information potentially feed into a centralised location. Why? And then you add this extra facet, this extra dimension, which is, of course, if it is engendering mistrust, which I think it's fair to say it is, then it is actually less effective. For every single person who thinks, hang on a minute, I don't want them collecting my data, I don't want my data going into a central harvester. Anybody else think of the restaurants then? I don't want my data going to a harvester, even if it is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Shut up. I don't want my data going centrally, therefore I'm not going to download it. Every single person who arrives at that conclusion, and we've spoken to some today, actively reduces the likelihood of the whole scheme succeeding.